should
Right.
be a crisscross, should be something gay like this, like a threesome. No.
Just let Ante do it.
Okay. Okay. Let's focus.
No, I think I want to keep that. Welcome to episode 3 of Gloves and Roses. We have a guest on today. We are trying to rotate new faces on. This is my sister Sabrina.
The youngest, the most talented.
Yeah, she's got a background in video production, and I thought that she's just got a great wit and personality. So would love to just bring her on and have her chime in on this conversation. So how you doing, Coach?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right. So I guess that I did want to open the show up a little bit and just talk about the fact that there's been a lot of negativity in the media for all of us lately, whether it's social media. There's been some crazy stuff going on that is really hard to miss. There's the Trump assassination attempt, the Sonia Massey event. There's the potential Biden disappearance. He definitely has removed himself from the election.
Who's Sonia Massey?
Oh.
Ooh.
I have no social media, so this is kind of like the thing. I don't have anything.
That's actually not a bad thing at the moment to not have social media, but let us touch a little bit on current events.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, I mean, ultimately, all I'm going to say is that there's a lot of negativity in the media. It is an election year. So, with that being said, expect there to be more crazy events that are going to happen to us and around the world. But, keep your head above water. Just focus on the things that you can control. And if you need to detach and just take a break from social media for a bit to cleanse yourself and get your head right and your emotions, organized in a way that you can be a good person in the world. I think that's what's most important. If you let all these negative things start to affect your perception of reality, you're going to start to have a little bit more resistance towards having positive relationships with people or positive interactions with total strangers. So yeah, just, keep your own control of your environment and, just don't let them convince you of a reality that's not true. So plenty of these things are happening, no doubt,
Right.
but don't let this big storyline or narrative be your narrative to what's actually happening.
Right. I agree.
You're just so positive. I love that. Yeah, it's hard because I think people do want to be in that negative headspace. It's so much easier to just be negative and just think about all the bad events. Especially because you guys keep up with it, but you're not letting it affect you. I'm
We
sure
try.
that's a really hard
try.
effort you have to do. Yeah, how do you do that though? By just getting off your phone or
Staying off social media, focusing on other things. Just taking like for me, I need to get outside.
Yeah.
do you camp?
I do. I love camping. I haven't done it in a while, and it's something on my to-do list. I haven't camped since I moved to Vegas in 2007.
Dude, I need to go camping.
We need to go camping.
And it turned into we.
Yeah, we need to go freaking
need to
camping.
do-
I
we
want
need
to
to
do.
do it.
I want to do one of those big group camping sites, so that way we can have all the dogs
Oh.
frolicking.
Yeah,
you know what
let's
I mean?
do it.
Wait, but are you like a glamper? Do you actually get a tent or do you do a RV?
I am both. I grew up backpacking, and I literally would just have a backpack with a sleeping bag, a can of beans, a pot, a toilet paper roll,
a shovel, poop it.
shovel, one of those little sporks.
By yourself, you'd go backpacking?
No, I was a kid. I used to go with one of my uncles who, not to be negative, but he just passed away, so rest in peace, Uncle Paul. It was his birthday yesterday. But he used to take me and my cousin's camp backpacking. And so I got my first taste of nature at a very young age. And then as I got older, teenagers need that little port for charging and
Or cell phones?
well, I had cell phones back in my day.
I don't know. No, because I didn't get a flip phone until I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess most importantly, let's I don't want to overdo the charging the phone thing. It was more for the radio and the rice cooker.
Oh,
You need it for
that's
the rice
smart.
cooker. So when you go camping with my family,
That was the most Asian thing you could have
The only thing we're doing that's camping is sleeping outside. Other than that, everything's the same. You still got the food, you still got the family, you still got the cards.
I have such a concern about camping in California, especially like because I've always wanted to do the PCT trail or at least a section of it.
Right.
But the PCT is scary because they, for a lot of the stretches, they require you to have, or they're not required, but they highly advise that you have a bear-proof canister. And like, first of all, it's super smell resistant, like as a backpacker, because you're out in the middle of nowhere. It's just you for probably 100 miles.
Yeah.
And so in these like bear-proof canisters, like you'll see the bears like try to like jump on it or like do different things to pop the lid off. But they're like $100 just to store your food.
How
to
big are they
hike.
though? Is it
They're,
enough
they
food
can
for, like,
come
a
pretty
week?
big, yeah, like pretty big, like these
Oh, it
barrel
looks
things.
like a time capsule almost. Is it just like a giant cylinder,
It's-
like thermos?
It's like, you know, when you go to like the international store, like the Filipino store, and they have those big things full of jellies.
Oh my
It's like
god!
that. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
The little
It's
lychee,
like-
the little lychee gel.
Well, imagine
Yeah.
that, but bear-proof. But it's, so it's scary to like backpack out there, even though it's something I've always wanted to do. It's kind of
Are
like
you scared of bears?
I am
yeah,
definitely
I'm not-
scared of
I'm
bears.
not afraid to say that I'm afraid of bears.
I'm
I
afraid
don't-
of bears
I don't
because
think
of
I'm
my
afraid of bears.
interactions. Yeah.
Oh, you've actually met a bear?
Yeah, unwillingly.
Oh.
He kind of wandered
Worse.
into our area. And
Did you look him in the eyes and you could like see your life flash?
No, my uncle was pretty good about keeping us calm in the situation, but
What'd you guys do?
me, I peed in my pants,
Oh.
but like I was really young.
Sure.
But seriously, like my uncle made us tie up our food and put it on top of a tree, but I'm
Yeah.
like,
he's
Why
just
did
going
you
to
do
climb the
that?
tree.
Bears-
He's just
bears
gonna
climb
No,
trees.
why don't you do that instead of getting the 100? No, if you throw it over and it's hanging, they
They'll
can't
still,
climb
they
it.
can
They
climb,
can climb
trees.
trees.
If
Bears
it's
can
hanging-
climb trees.
No, but if you hang it over a branch.
Yes,
but
they'll
the-
still get it. They'll
Yeah.
paw at the rope, but they'll eventually
Okay, so
bring
I
it
was
up to
watching
them.
Alone, and Alone, that's how they do it. So I feel like.
But it doesn't always work. They can
Oh.
still go up there, and if you don't put the bag far enough away from your camp, then they're going to like invade your camp in
Yeah.
order to get to the food.
Oh, like from Brother Bear.
But yeah, so
Sorry, she flirted with me. I'm sorry.
this is not going on the podcast.
Get your
guys.
girl. Get your girl. Brandon.
Oh
I'm a
my
married woman, coach.
So am I. There's a ring on my finger, y'all.
Sorry, but I guess it means nothing at the table.
You were the one brushing up against me.
I didn't touch her, babe. She touched me.
What are you talking about?
Oh my
sometimes
God, it's-
knees bump.
No, that's when I looked at her. She winked at me. That's what made it horrible.
All it takes is a wink.
She didn't even say it. It was the smoothest. It was
Brandon's,
so
like,
smooth.
noted.
It was so cool.
You know what? It's because I'm hot. It's
Yeah.
okay.
You came in with the hair curled, and I was like, oh, Coach.
What? But what if I was ugly? We would have been like, ew. All
Nah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
right.
I would have been. I would have like pretended it didn't happen and kind of just been like, move my legs over.
So let me tangent this into something. Actually, have you heard of the movie Hot Chicks?
No, I haven't.
Bro, you were probably like 5 when that movie came out.
You can't do age thing with me because I think
came
you're-
out in 2004.
You're like only 2.5 years older.
I know.
So,
no, but I'm
you
just
were,
saying
like,
I didn't see it
8,
either. I didn't
Oh.
see it either. So I didn't see it recently until like the past couple months because there was this clip that was viral on TikTok and it was like, it's me, Jessica.
Time out. Are you trying to tell me that the other night when I texted our group chat and you guys said, we're not doing anything, coach, we're just watching Hot Chicks, that was your first time?
It was my second time because I needed Hot
Have you
Chicks
seen
in my
Hot Chicks,
life.
babe? I've never heard it.
It's
tell her, and it was my favorite growing up too.
I can't-
Wow, there is like a huge generational gap.
so
happening
it's like
here.
imagine like okay, so it's actually done by Adam Sandler. So it was the Gilmore Productions, right?
We just saw an Adam Sandler movie last night.
Happy
Yeah.
Madison.
Happy Madison, thank you. And
Fact check.
And we needed that.
She's like, actually, it's Happy
Ashley.
I said, actually.
I know, but we have a nephew who says Ashley. So,
How am I supposed to know?
so I'm just chiming you into the inside joke, Ashley.
Okay, now I'm
Okay, but okay. The movie Hot Chicks has a lot of similarities to White Chicks, Scary Movie 2, and it just takes a comedy back to a time, like Hollywood back to a day and age where just the humor was wild. Like you could say anything.
Nothing was censored.
Anything.
Nothing was canceled. Everything is funny.
There was
It should be like that still. I'm just saying.
I do miss it. I understand. I get it, but also I miss it. And there was a point in Hot Chicks where there was an Asian mom who has like a mixed daughter who's like half African, African American, and she says the
Ling Ling?
N word. Yeah, she says the N word, prees, and I was blown away because like the level of racism within 2 words, within 2 seconds of like a Hollywood
but
film.
was she black? 'Cause she's half black, half Asian.
The daughter
Blasian.
was. The mom
Blasian.
was Chinese. The mom was like Asian.
And the mom was the one who said the N word.
Yeah, because it's for her daughter, and she was dressed all in hip hop with
What is the
like.
concept of this movie? I feel so out of it. I feel like it's just
So,
what-
Hot Chicks.
Are they
Explain
actually
this
hot?
Wait, it was Hot Chicks, right?
Yeah.
Not White Chicks.
White chicks weren't
So
actually
Hot
hot.
Chicks
So.
was this kind of like, it's almost like a Freaky Friday type of
Yeah.
thing where this,
Ugly people switch with hot people.
well, yeah, there was this criminal who was played by Rob Schneider.
You know who Rob Schneider is?
Of course.
Okay, I had to
His-
double check.
you better,
He's
you're-
so good.
His daughter Elle King is one of my favorite singers.
You should know him because he's Filipino.
Yeah, and his
He's
daughter
Filipino?
looks white as a
I
freaking
didn't know.
Southern country star. Yeah,
Mm.
and she, anyway, I digress.
Wow.
Everything that comes out of him is gold. His children, his comedy, I love him.
Yeah. And he's Filipino.
He's attractive too. Is he in Grown Ups?
Yes. He's the one that has the hot daughters.
Oh my god.
Oh, he is and in real life, his daughter's hot. That's probably the joke.
He did
Wait.
good.
Because Elle King,
He did good.
Rob Schneider's hot, right? No, you're not into it.
No.
You should not say that because you're dating a Filipino.
Wait,
so-
but you know who Rob Schneider is 100%, right? His face.
yes.
Okay, like
He looks
he's
like Tito.
he's okay, from 50 First Dates. He was the guy missing an eye.
Ula.
Oh yeah,
He's
he's
Ula.
That guy.
Yeah,
He's
You
Ula.
know we're talking. Same guy. We're talking about the same
Oh,
guy.
wait, are you getting on me about this because I think he's attractive? Are you shaming my attraction?
You know
I'm attracted
what?
to?
You be you. You be
Thank
you.
you. Thank
You be
you.
you.
This is
I
not
was
a-
just,
I
I
thought
just
this was a
needed
safe
to make
space.
sure.
Some
I needed to
people-
understand.
I
Yes,
mean,
him. That's hot.
we love you, Rob Schneider.
I
Listen to our podcast.
No, but his facial,
No, but listen up.
his facial expressions reminded me of like Jim Carrey's early acting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just really really good.
In Hot Chicks.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
it's really a really good facial expressions and like it's me.
So the movie is like a Freaky Friday type of thing. Like,
We're just looking at
We're
Rob
looking at
Schneider
the-
pictures now. Beautiful man.
and so like they get these earrings, and then there's some kind of voodoo or something on it, and so he goes into a hot girl's body,
Is
and
it his voice though?
no,
Oh.
and she goes into his body,
Oh.
and so it's him, Jessica.
How have we not watched it, Brandon? I want to see this so badly. Netflix?
Hulu, right?
We have one.
We have Hulu?
Hey, Mazel.
Oh, through T-Mobile. When you sign up through T-Mobile, using the link below, you'll get free access to Hulu.
No, no,
It's-
no, we're not getting paid for that.
Wait
I'm
a
just
minute.
joking. It's a joke. Obviously, we're not endorsed by nobody, but God above.
Yeah, us with our 50 views. Hey, thank you
What's
for
up?
watching.
Gosh, you guys got me so hot.
Our
talking
30
about, like,
followers.
Rob Schneider. I felt shame.
Let's
and pride.
segue. Let's segue to this.
What does that say? Olga?
Oh, no. Next section. I'm just
Oh,
Let's
all right.
segue into this. Let's talk about preferential taste, because she just brought up she thinks Rob Schneider's hot. More power to you.
Thank you.
A lot of people may say different. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he is. But like, do you think that people's taste in or attraction to people kind of tells a story about who they are as a person?
Really quick. That's crazy because my husband looks just like my dad, and I feel like I did that because I miss my dad. So
Interesting.
I think that fact right there, I think it totally hits home.
Okay. I 100%.
Right, it's true. You look like her mom.
My husband looks nothing like my dad. It was like,
Look, if I could just chime in. No, come on. It looks like your mom.
No. Okay, I do think that your parents do influence what your taste in your future partner will be, because like there's that saying that like you're gonna whoever you marry is basically gonna be like your parents. I'm a lesbian.
Lesbian?
Yeah,
Really?
There's a turtle meme. The turtle meme. I'll put it over. Lesbian.
Huh.
So
Lesbian, like
I never
coffee
knew.
yeah, lesbian.
Oh, you didn't
I'm a
know?
lesbian.
No.
So
I have
anyway.
a friend that's her wife. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
Do I look like her mom now?
yes, you do. That
There's a
level-
lot going on with our
Okay,
audience.
producer.
So to the point, they're trying to say that my wife looks like my mom, and I guess I'll put up a side-by-side photo just to let the audience make it to decide, do they look alike? And here's my personal opinion: if you say yes, you're racist. You can't tell the difference between Asians. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
So
What's going on around here? The whole earth shook. The whole
Okay.
earth shook when that happened.
we
I
can
feel
clip it
like,
out.
okay, so I feel like what I'm saying, you guys are totally being nice, but then I look over at them, the peanut gallery, and they're like, I can't believe you said that. I'm like, is it bad? Is it?
No, it really is true though, right? Like, because there's some wild stuff when it comes to love and actually being related to people. Like when they say that you could be half siblings with somebody and not know, but find them so attractive, be in love with them, like that. Those are real concerns that people have in our like. There are so many situations where this is a real fucking concern today. But falling in love with like the people that like you are influenced by with your family, 100% it exists. Part of it is in your DNA to like certain things and to be attracted to certain things. I really think so, because there's that whole theory that, for example, you want somebody who is more genetically diverse than you are, because they say that it basically increasing the chances of immunity for your future children. And I understand that point, but yeah, I still think that, like, yes, in a way, overall, I'll say yes to that question. But to delve even deeper into it, I think that, like, sexuality is, like, very vague. Like, I think it's a very vague thing, because then it starts to be like, is it who you fall in love with, or is it, like, who you're sexually attracted to and want to have sex with? Because then what if it's different for people, where it's like you're able to have sex with somebody, but this isn't the same type of person you're able to fall in love with?
Okay, I totally agree with you, because you know how people, like, it's not all about biology. Just because, like, someone's your half cousin, you should feel, like, torn away from them. Or even these interabled couples where, oh, you can't procreate with them. Why ever would you want to be with them? I think, especially nowadays, people don't care about children so much. So I think they don't care about whether or not, like, that biology aspect no longer has anything to do with it. It's like the person themselves people are falling in love with. Just like Rob Schneider. It's him as a comedian.
Oh my
It's not
gosh.
about what he looks like. It's about the way he speaks his actions.
I completely agree with that.
That's a turn on.
Because I think a lot of my sexuality is very much so based on like personality and intelligence more than looks.
Yeah.
Like, this sounds so stupid, but if someone starts talking about math in a really incredible way, or something that they're passionate
It makes you
about,
hot.
yeah, like
Interesting.
intelligence is hot to me. But it's like people have different things that they go for, right? Like some people like musicians, some people like borderline homeless looking people. It's just everybody's got their taste.
I know some people like that.
That's crazy.
Right? Like I don't want to like talk about like other like shows or podcasts on the show.
That's
too.
how I feel about this fucking Dave Ramsey book I'm reading. He references other leadership books in his leadership book. And I just think that's
You know
so
what that's
weird.
called?
Inception.
That's called confidence.
To
He's not worried about you reading anybody else's book because he knows what he's saying is real.
It's like a cop out though. It's like him stealing quotes from other leadership books and putting it in his leadership book.
But you know what that tells me about him is that he studies. And I resonate with people who,
Sounds
I'm
like
sorry,
you're a fan.
Are to be honest, like, I'm the jock. I don't I go to her and talk to her about like politics and finance and stuff, but that says a lot about somebody's personality, because I am more willing to have a conversation with somebody who is less overly opinionated and more open because of the things that they bring into, here, and they kind of just think about all the things that they think for themselves based on things that they learned outside, instead of just like, well, this is what I think, and if you don't like it, well then F you,
Yeah.
So like my other YouTube channel is just all about like book reviews, and I think this is your first business book you've ever read, right?
Second.
Okay. Well, I have slammed through them. Like I
You
went
have
to
an
college.
addiction.
I went to
Yeah.
college with that, like studying business. And what I will say is that it adds credence to your message when you refer to other people who are saying the exact same thing as you, who are also just as credible. So it's
Oh, I
like,
see.
yeah, and so it's like if you're writing like a research paper, you want to have like first sources and then second sources. So like it's who directly said it, who directly experienced it, right? So let's say like if we're writing a paper about dinosaurs, you have the primary source, who is the person that discovered the dinosaur, and then you have the secondary, which is the person that wrote the article about the person finding the dinosaur, versus actually being the person who went through the experience. And so I think that having those layers of references, it just adds more viewpoint and strength to a point because of it.
Yeah, I just don't. I think because coming straight from like fantasy and romance reading, and then to dive into like this is real life, how to run a business, it always just kind of seems like. And I'm trying to get more into it. I want to be more like savvy with business, but it's hard. It's hard to read.
Yeah.
It's not very interesting.
It's hard for me to read if I'm not like personally invested in whatever it is, and so I get what you're saying about that.
I think something very. I think that what's exciting about like this younger generation, such as yourself, is that like there's almost this requirement that everybody has to have like a business a little bit or a side hustle now in order to actually retire or
Can you
have
say such as us?
what, such as us,
The younger generation, such as yourself, but it's such as us.
like us, like you have a business, like we have a business. Everybody has like a business.
You understand what I'm saying?
No, like how-
Meaning you guys are the same age.
Oh yeah,
I'm the only
But
old
you
lady
also-
in this one.
No, you're not.
I mean, I felt like, just because we're the same. I just wanted you to say us and not your generation. 'Cause I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're right there.
Yeah,
with
the
me,
only
buddy.
one that's
No,
in a different
technically-
generation is me. Right
No,
here.
technically, you're a Gen X, you're a Gen Z, and I'm a millennial. Technically, the three of us are
Oh.
3 different generations because you were the
I'm
first.
sorry,
year.
grandkids. It was supposed to be that in a TikTok reel with first generation, second generation, but no, now it's on Gloves and
Oh,
Roses
I've
podcast.
seen that. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, here you go, bam.
I gotta
That's this
ask,
group.
but your business, because it's the private coaching, right? That's your business.
Yes, my Muay Thai coaching.
What did I say? I'm sorry.
No, no.
Did I say.
No.
I said,
You-
I said
Okay,
coaching.
sorry.
I said coaching.
Yeah,
no,
you're
you're right.
good.
I thought I said some other sport. I'm like, what did I say?
No, you're good.
Do you think
What
you-
sport?
I know. I thought I said something like kickboxing or something. I was like, what did I- It's a sport. though, right?
Pickleball.
No, oh my god. I was gonna ask if you hadn't been already doing the sport and then this was the natural progression when you got so good at it to begin coaching, would you have opened your own business like this?
I don't know. Everything that's happened since 2008 to now just happened. Like
Why
I-
2008 specifically? Like the housing?
2008 is when I got into Muay Thai. I started Muay Thai when I was like 32 years old. Which is kind of honestly that's really late. Like a lot of people in Muay Thai retire at the age of 32.
Yeah, that's late.
But I mean, also my life has been ass backwards. Like I started a family at 18, and so I did all of the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing at this age first.
Yeah.
So and then now that my kids are grown, or as they grew, I started to get more time back, and so I needed to invest myself in something that would take my time, And so now the kids are fully out, and I just went full steam ahead on coaching, which was never a plan anyway. It
That's
just kind of
awesome.
happened. So
That's cool that you at least were able to take back your life though. Like after having kids, you were able to do your own dream and own goals. You weren't like an empty nester left wondering, oh, what's my purpose? What is my marriage? Who am I? Like you knew who you were.
kind of. I think at this age, I think a lot of people perceive at my age and in my situation where I do have adult children. I think we all think we're supposed to be like, okay, after the kids move out, we're going to go and travel the world. And yes, everybody has that perception, but actually going through it is a totally different journey. And sometimes it's hard. It's for me personally, it's been difficult, but learning to power through it and just find other things to do, which is, I do invest a lot of time into my coaching, into my students. And I still, on the side, have my own career as well in advertising. So it's been a journey.
I do have to like give that to you. I almost feel like people who don't plan to live like, after their kids move out of the house, like I think a lot of parents just they have this perception of reality that like once I have my kids will always be with me. And then that after point, like you were saying, like they might have a plan like, oh, we're going to go golfing and traveling, but that level of fulfillment isn't really there for them. And I think that for a lot of people, like to plan for your kids to have their own lives is like a whole other frame of mind, because you literally cannot plan their lives for them.
No.
You just like once they're gone, it's like it just has to come back to focusing on you, and it's a total like mind fuck, because your
It's
brain for
definitely.
18 years, longer than that, was like, this is my life, this is everything.
Yeah.
I live, breathe, eat, sleep for this. And so redefining your purpose, why you get up, why you're
Yep.
doing every single fucking motion in the day, that has to be incredibly hard. And so I think that like for a lot of parents, they do hit like a depression point when their kids move out, and it's like
Definitely.
a silent depression that they don't really talk about. I think it can correlate to declines in their careers that they don't even want to talk about. Like they're
Right.
just like they're unhappy. It can like affect the marriage because the kids are no longer
Yeah.
there.
Did you have that? You're saying, yeah, is that
Yeah, she's hitting everything, on the head, and it could be.
And I haven't even experienced this yet.
She hasn't, but
yeah.
you have been a source of like, when we are outside of podcast world and we're out there kayaking or paddleboarding
On
out
the
in
streets?
nature, when we're on the streets, your sister's a really great ear, and
Yeah, she's a really good listener.
I've been experiencing empty nest for quite some time. Like my kids are like, my daughter's going to be 30. My son's 26. So like, or 20, I'm sorry.
How long has he been moved out of the house?
He actually moved out a year before my daughter. So he's been out, I want to say over 3 years, 4, yeah, almost 4 years. And that was something that was very different for me. I can tell you guys, like, I'm not going to make this podcast about me, but there were different stages in my life that were so like weird for me and uncomfortable, because I went from a kid raising kids to my kids being grown, and I was really hyper focused on making sure that my kids had what I didn't have, and not talking about like materialistically, but more of like, I want to spend time with my kids because I didn't feel that I had that kind of time with my parents as I was growing up. And then it moved into, well, like when my daughter started going to college, my focus was, I don't want my daughter to have any financial burden. So we paid for her school outside of any loans and stuff like that. And so that my focus was get my daughter through college so that she can, prosper in a career, a good career for herself. And then after that, it was my son moved out, and my son is my baby. He's the youngest, and it hurt a little bit, but then I still had, my daughter was still at home. My son's always been like, my son and I are very much alike in that sense, where we kind of just, we see something and you're just hyper focused, and then you just go for it. So like my son's like, I'm going to get my license. And like, he got his license before his sister. And then like, he's like, I'm going to move out. And he like moved out. And then my daughter followed right after. And I'm really proud of my kids, but like the emptiness in the house was almost unbearable for me. Because my kids have been my world. They're still my world, but like learning to live for myself is a totally different aspect in life.
Absolutely.
And so like, I have these times where I'm like really lonely. And even before I was empty nested, like I just started hanging around with friends. Like honestly, maybe like 5 years ago, I started letting friends into my world.
So is that the good thing that comes with being like an empty nester? You have the opportunity now to actually do your thing, like you make your friends connections.
And I think that because you were so young when you had your kids too, like that early,
yeah.
like the stages of from 18 to your early 20s is really when you do define your life's purpose. Like, what am I here to do? Like, what do I want to do and experience? And you didn't really have like the capacity to ask yourself that, because it was your purpose.
My purpose was in front of me for that whole time. And I'm pretty positive my husband would say the same thing.
Right.
Did he have the same thing? Is it different for like men? Did he have like that emptiness,
So-
quiet loneliness?
I think that, so, you know, just
That's a
to
great
give a little,
question. Like,
it
what
is
is
a,
it like for men? Because it has to be very quiet, especially for a lot of men that don't express how they feel. But your partner is pretty expressive.
yes, like, just a little background. My husband and I have been together since we were 15 and 16 years old.
One love.
I was just thinking that, but I didn't want to do like a Canes thing.
We've literally been together for like 32 years. You know, I had my daughter when I was 18. I had my son when I was 21. And those are very impressionable ages. Like, that's when you're coming into adulthood. But again, we were so hyper focused on raising these two little human beings that like, I feel like I missed out on a lot of like my upbringing, or like experience. Like I didn't get to do a lot of the things that I should have been doing at that age. So it was a different situation. Going back into the whole, is it different for men and women? I'm obviously not my husband, so I can't speak for him, but as his partner, his wife, seeing what he went through, it's same, different. Empty nesting is real. Whatever you call midlife crisis, I guess, is real. A lot of people go through, I've seen, like for me and my husband in our situation, we had kids early, so I feel like we went through that, like, what do we do now? I'm still going through the what do we do now?
You still are?
Yeah.
With like your business and like your friend groups now, you're traveling, you still feel like you're at a
Yeah, I still kind of feel like I haven't quite gotten my footing yet.
You know what? I know that you're like, you know, you have more years, more experience than I do on this earth. I don't mean that in a condescending way, but more like in an admiration way. Like, you have a lot more experience, and to hear you say that even with having more time on this planet, you're still feeling lost. I think I want that to be expressed because I can relate to that. I think everyone can relate to that, because no matter where you are in life, no matter what you have figured out that other people may not have, you're always going to feel a little lost, because I think that so much of life is self-directed. But I was taking
But
this
is that a bad thing to feel lost though? I think you're looking at it as like a
No,
point of
I'm saying more like it's comforting to know that like this is a natural state, because you're constantly reassessing where you are in life and where you want to go, and then you can go so far down a certain path and be like, this isn't where I really wanted to be, and then
depresses
still
me,
change your
though.
direction.
Well-
I would hate the feeling like I feel so lost now, and then it's gonna be the same in like you know.
So-
30
But
years.
you have to take steps, right? Like, it's a fight. Like, you have to fight for where you want to be, because, and I think
But
that
you haven't been constantly lost, right? Give me a little bit of hope here.
I think
Yes,
it's-
you're not constantly lost. So I'm going to speak on my own perspective because everybody's life is different. But it's not like you're always going to be like feeling lost. I think it's more like you're gonna find your way, and then you're gonna grow into another person, and then you're gonna feel like, who am I? And then you're gonna find your way, and then you're gonna grow into another person. And that's kind of what life is like. It's just growth, you know.
I always thought like growing up would be like you just growing into what the end destiny, like this is who you're meant to be, and you grow into this shell that was already there for you in the first place, and it would just fit like a glove. You know who you are, you're not lost. Destiny. And that's always what I thought was gonna happen when I got older. But you're right, it does feel like I'm just shedding off my skin and I'm something new, and now I'm like everything's sore and I'm squishy and it hurts.
Yeah,
And, you know, like,
that's a great
and
perception.
I guess that's maybe where we have like a splintering opinion, because I guess for me, I feel like maybe there isn't so much destiny. Like, there's a little bit of fate and there's a little bit of free will. But I largely think that like when you start to feel lost, it's like you have to make a decision about what you want.
Yeah. And that's a tough thing to do. It's not
really
easy.
hard. It's hard to decide that you want something, because it's so easy to go through life and want nothing. I think that once you adopt like almost like that Buddhist lifestyle, like I don't want anything, like I'm a minimalist, I don't really want to be anything, do anything, it's easy to not do anything. But to actively like want something out of your life, to have a noble purpose, is something you have to go seek out, create for yourself. And then take action and like make this purpose like valuable to you, because you put the effort in, you put the sacrifice into this thing. Like, you know, a marriage, like that's something that you have to like believe in, and I lost my train of thought here.
Marriages
but you
work.
know, you see what I'm saying though. That's like
Yeah.
it's not like you're constantly lost, but it's like you're the one who's piloting the ship. And like it's nobody else. It's like, yeah, there's a little bit of like breeze that's gonna push you one way or another. Like we'll call that fate, but you're still the pilot of your ship.
Okay, here's what happened to me last night. Do you know what I do for a living?
No, give me some context.
Okay, I'm a process server. I work in the office.
You're a what?
A process server.
So like Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Divorce papers, you've been served, you've been sued, all that good stuff. That's what I do. So last night, my boss hits me up, and it's like 7:00 at night. He said, "Hey, there's this person that needs like a custody paper to be served," and I just want to please him because I'm a people pleaser. It's like super late on a Saturday, and I'm like, "I'll do it. I'll go do this paper. I'll go do this serve. I'll make you proud of me." And I drive out there. First off, North Las Vegas has purple street lights. So yeah, the street lights, they change it to purple. So now it's late at night, it's dark, and the street lights are purple. I'm already going into this weird murder mystery thing.
Oh god.
I'm at this gas station waiting for this person to meet me to give me documents, and then it just turns in. She calls me sobbing because this guy kidnapped her kids. No one wants to print her documents because it has confidential information for her children. Oh, sorry. I guess that was
No,
meant
go
for
ahead.
you. And no one wants to print her documents. She's freaking out because she needs to get him served. All this stuff. It was so sad. And I just had to and she's like, "Oh, he's got a U-Haul, and I'm going to catch him when he's moving, right? And he's only going to be moving late at night when it's cool outside or in the morning when it's cool." And it just turns into this whole horrible shit show. She's crying and like losing her shit because the guy stole her kids. She can't even go to his job or go to the apartment to see if the car is there because he's got a restraining order on her.
Oh, no.
my
It was,
God.
and in like situations like that, I don't know if I'm working for the bad guy. If the court awarded him an restraining order against you, but then he stole the kid. So then stuff like that.
Well,
always,
but like still, that's a perspective from her point, right? Because if he has a restraining order, then and he has the kids, she must have done something for the court to grant this restraining order.
But that's on him. Like the restraining order is between him and her. And it's like, I think when you steal a kid, and this is the thing I have with the court system, if you guys have a kid together and you decide to just take the kid and not let the other parent see them, you can't just call the cops or you have to file a court order and then serve them to be able to see your kid.
Yeah, Nevada's weird like that.
Is that not normal for other states?
I think different states have different laws.
Are you familiar?
I'm sure that they do.
Yeah.
I'm sure that they do. But like
It's
especially
horrible here, yeah.
especially like with the taking the kid thing. Like that gets tricky, and that's crazy though that if like your kid gets taken, like picked up from school while you weren't like there to pick them up, and
she has
now
to
you have no way to like get your kid
dude,
back in person.
It cost her so much money for me to go out there to try to get the papers, and then because it didn't even go through, I can't refund that money to her. Like, the business can't, not I, but the business can't. And that was my last dollar. And I'm like, I don't know it was just horrible because I was talking to an attorney in the beginning, but then she gave my phone number to the person, and it became so much more than like a job. It became this like woman who was just like desperate for help, and like I didn't have the means to help her. It was horrible. I hated it. That was my night last night. I came home as like a failure. It sucked.
Kind of to transition into a different subject, your circle, that circle of like trust. Mm-hmm. I just watched Meet the Fockers the other day.
I was like,
circle of trust.
So I literally have, outside of my husband and kids, I have a circle of trust. And if you're in that circle, there's this comfortability zone. I'm extremely transparent with these people that are in the circle, and I only have 4 or 5 people in this circle. Other than that, you're considered, I might be like really cool with you and everything, but like especially because of what I do, I have like a million acquaintances, but I only have like 4 or 5 friends.
I think that's pretty normal, I think, for a lot of people, especially, you don't want to like, for me, honestly, it's like everyone initially when I meet you, you're in my circle of trust. You have to fuck up. Like, I'm like golden retriever. Like, I trust you. I love you.
You're
We're
a
like
Doug.
best friends. Yeah, a Doug. Oh, yes, yeah. I love everyone. Yeah.
I know it. I know it.
It's not until you like do something to like fuck it up that like I'll push,
See.
and you can never come back in. Like, I never trust people when they scorn me. I'm like so big into holding grudges. It's like my fatal flaw.
Yeah. Therapists will tell you though, like, who deserves energy and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And I've learned at my age with help that like there's some people that never deserved your energy to begin with. And I'm a highly sensitive and emotional person. So, like, if I love you, I love you. Like, I freaking love you. But if I don't like you, I hold on to that distaste for a very, very long time. And it's something I'm trying to teach myself not to do, because if you've moved into that freaking love you to the distaste, what I'm trying to learn to do is distaste takes so much energy. So, like, I try not to, like, if I distaste you, let's just say, I try not to, like,
Are you trying to say not? Are you trying not to say hate?
I dislike you.
Well,
maybe.
yeah, that-
you're like, you're not
that-
my taste.
you're not my taste.
It's not
like,
that you're not a
No, no,
likable
I-
person,
no, I know
but
what
it's just like,
you're-
I don't like you.
No, I
Yeah.
know what you're going for, but I would just say hate. Do you not like to use the word hate?
I think
I'm
it's
trying-
a strong word.
hate's a strong
I
word.
think hate begets hate. You create
Yeah.
more hate
But
by
that line
using
that when you
word.
move from love, like that's the line though. If you were in love and now I don't like you, it had to become of hate. So in my opinion, my very shallow, small.
I was very like that. You're not shallow. I mean, that's the
like
normal
my-
interpretation. Like there's a yin and yang for everything, right? So there's love,
Literally.
there's hate, there's
Yeah.
like.
It's like black and white thinking. I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a
yeah.
horrible time seeing people in the gray area. You're either my friend and my family, or you're an enemy.
So
Yeah.
I try. So and I was very much like, I'm a Scorpio, man. Like if I hold grudges, that grudge holds me.
It's lifetime.
It's rough. So like, I'm learning how to put people in the, like, if you want to use black and white and gray, there's the people in the white, and then everybody else is in the gray. Because like,
That's super energy conserving.
I feel like when hate is so like heavy.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm going through a process in my life where I'm trying to learn how to, like, just, live.
So I have a question. I have a couple questions that I hope will reframe like what people for our audience too. Like I hope these questions will at least help you reframe where your stance is on relationships with external people. But do you think that respect is something that is given or something that is earned? And do you think that trust is something that is given or that is earned? We'll go Coach first.
Trust in the beginning, trust is earned for me.
Okay.
This is a personal thing. What was the other one?
And respect. Is
Respect-
given just meeting someone, or
Respect
is
is
that something you earn?
given
Okay.
until you F it up. Then once I don't respect you anymore, like, you move into gray.
yeah.
Now. But like, trust you have to earn. You have to earn trust. Just because I respect you doesn't mean I trust you.
Facts. What about you? How do you feel about that? Is respect something that's earned, or like?
I think everyone deserves respect. It's not until you do something
Right.
to lose it. That's my thing. And I also think everyone deserves like a chance to be trusted. Because like, I mean, everyone's practically a stranger. How do you like get to know if they're good or bad until you give them that opportunity with trust, in my opinion. So everyone gets that one chance, and then from there I feel like I'm not big into second chances. So like once you fuck up the first time, that's your character though. If to
Yeah.
a stranger you're so quickly to deceive, lie, cheat, steal, fuck over, that just says everything about you. I don't need to give you a second chance. You don't need like another unless it's family. Family's blood. I'll give them a million chances because,
And I think that for other people too, like that definition of family, like people who are actually deserving of your family to deserve another chance.
Yeah.
I believe that like I'm more willing to give that chance to family, but at the same time, like with your family members, you have to set that boundary of respect of like you need to respect me as well. Like I can't just keep forgiving you because I respect you, as like because I love you, but it's like you need to share that same mutual respect towards me.
I think that like that comes along too with your dynamic. Not to get into too much detail, but like there's that saying, blood is thicker than water.
Yeah.
And then there's always the other flip side of it where people are like, you don't have to be blood to be family,
Facts.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's a dynamic.
Because there's a quote. That quote goes longer though. Blood is thicker than water. But hold on, I'm gonna Google it while you finish your thought. But it's that quote is often misrepresented.
You're about to blow my mind if there was a second half to that fucking quote that totally contradicts that friends can be blood. Wait.
Okay.
It contradicts it.
Like if blood is supposed to be thicker than water, as in family matters more than friends, but then the other half of the quote is like, but like something dumb. Like, here we go.
Actually the full quote is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb.
Oh, see.
So like,
Oh,
even
okay.
when they say blood is thicker than
So
water,
it's
it's
flipped.
interpreted
Yeah.
oppositely.
Right.
That's how it's always like interpreted. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
Sorry,
I feel
tangent.
that. Like,
Mic drop. That's
Yes,
so cool.
yeah, I think what. So again, it's upon one person's perception, right?
Yeah.
Because I have that circle that we were talking about, and if you're in that circle, you're more than family. You're family to me.
Do people just slowly turn into being in your circle and then you like look over? Oh, I didn't even realize you were here. Hi.
That's a
Nah,
good question.
nah. You got to earn your way into my circle,
So
and
you definitely
I-
notice when you're letting someone you trust someone.
And
Yeah.
I will say that my wife, who was one of Coach's students, absolutely earned her place into the circle. So when she first met Coach at the gym, Coach, I mean, this is me as an outsider hearing the story. Coach was just very in her own lane. Like, I'm here to do what I'm here to do and train. Like, Coach would train her ass off all by herself or like with the coaches. And then here comes my wife, like, producer Saley comes along saying that she would love to get like more one-on-one time with Coach.
Were
Like,
you were coaching at this point?
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she was like, kind of doing one-on-ones with Saley for a long time. And then it became like Saley kept pushing like, oh, let's go hang out. And it took a long
In the
fucking
beginning,
time
I was like, I don't hang out with my students.
because she had a strong boundary.
Right.
But,
I was more into my family.
and so sometimes it takes people that are like really pushing to like tell you like, I care about you, let me be part of your life. And sometimes that does happen, but deserved. Like someone
Yeah.
entered your life because they deserved to be there. They wanted to be there.
Yeah, it changed, and then it changed over time, and it's because of people like Saley. There was a point, so not to get into too much detail, but there was a point where I was like, okay, like if I'm friends with this student, maybe I'll, because I was in a transition of like going through that. Maybe I need more friends because my kids are grown now; they don't need me, and so I became too friendly with my students. And then it became more hanging outside of the gym. And needless to say, and this is it could be a controversial opinion, but this is my personal experience. It's not always good. And I had to learn that the hard way. Like you do have to separate,
Did they take
Business
advantage
and
of that
friendship.
trust? Or
I think that I just overdid it for myself. I'm not going to put any blame on a specific person, but like I got emotionally attached to some friends that I just probably, at that time it was great and it was fun. But what it did was it took away my focus on what I was really there for,
Yeah.
because I was trying to be too much of a friend and not a coach.
Yeah.
And so like I just need to I had to realign myself with my business. And I think I'm in a good place at this point right now where like I'm kind of at the gym I'm coach. And if you're fortunate enough to be with me outside, or if I'm fortunate enough to have you in my circle on the outside of the gym, I treat them completely separately.
yeah.
We all have like multiple identities that we carry with us depending on specifically who we're around, right? It was just like, to me, you're coach plus friend, but you're more friend because I was like, while you have been my only Muay Thai instructor ever, I was not consistent with it, and so like you're still coach to me, but much more my friend. For Saley, you are always going to be predominantly coach, but it's like, and so those roles are always changing. Or if you're in a marriage, you're your partner's best friend, like their shoulder to cry on, their therapist, like their
Worst critic.
like yeah, and you're supposed to be like like the fuck buddy also. So it's like you're supposed to be
Yeah.
all these things.
You're their enemy.
But depending
Yeah,
on like
yeah.
who your relationship is with who, like you're all of these identities, and it's hard to have respectful boundaries within yourself of those different identities, because to what your point was saying, it was like sometimes some people get a little bit more coach than they're deserving of, or they get a little bit too
Right.
much of your personal than they're deserving of, when you should have been more coach to them.
Right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
That's
it's
like
a
the
hard
thing about
measure.
experience. You don't know
Yeah.
until after it backfires in your fucking face. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called
Hindsight.
life.
Yeah.
And learning as you go. But
Man, I get like that. That's totally. I feel like I have to learn everything. Like people will tell me a million times their experience, or oh, don't do that because X, Y, Z, or I know that person and this happened to me.
did we talk about the touch the
Yeah.
oven?
Yeah.
Is that yeah? Because that's how it is. Like I need to do it myself to know that this is gonna.
So
burn
you're
me.
a touch. So you're
Yeah.
a touch the oven.
Sagittarius.
I'm not sure if this ever made it on our last podcast.
No, I thought that
we
I
talked
think
about
did.
it.
Wait, this sounds familiar, and I wasn't here, so it must have been on the.
So yeah, the whole concept, to bring it back just really quick for review, is I
Review. You sound like a teacher.
I am a coach, but like I put people into buckets, and there's the touch the oven person where you say it's not, it's hot, don't touch the oven, and they're like, they need to see for themselves, so they touch the oven and get burned.
Yeah.
And then there's the people that like you tell them it's hot, and then they are like, let me see this fool touch the oven first.
Yeah.
And if they touch the oven and they get burned, they're like, oh, it's hot.
Yeah.
Then they believe it. And then there's like, don't touch the oven, it's hot. And then there's like, ugh, coach said it was hot, I'm not going to touch the oven.
Yeah, you
I don't
don't,
need any
you don't
proof,
need
I
to
was
watch.
told.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
so you're a touch the oven, huh?
Yeah. What are you? You
I was
look like
all.
you're the second.
I was all three.
Oh,
it just
look at
depends
you,
on the
diverse
situation.
man.
I think everybody is all three depending on what situation that they're in.
Yeah.
I think that for me, like majority of the time, I sit at a 2 because I'm very skeptical about what anybody
Wait, it's a
tells
trust
me.
thing,
but it
And
is
so I'd rather
something
sit
with-
back and wait.
Oh my gosh, that's what Brandon was saying. He says, "How come every time I say something, you don't believe me, but then as soon as like Ate says it, now you believe
That
it."
is that
Yeah, but
phrase.
It's the second person. If I had someone told me something and I asked you, and then you confirm what they said, I would believe it the first time you said it because you're the second opinion.
That phrase is in the book of husband, like phrases. Don't you know?
This is a real. No, it's not a real book, right? This is.
If you watched up to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Please do give us a like or subscribe if you found it entertaining. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, I forgot this was a YouTube video, and you need to say that because I was just like, I just felt we were just talking. This is
Well,
so nice.
Thank you for being on
Yeah.
GNR
You guys
podcast.
are so fun to talk to. I love you guys.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like you said that you wanted to participate in the podcast more regularly. And
Yeah,
so hopefully
behind,
you-
forward, whatever.
Yeah.
In the comments.
Let's do it.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
You
so
get in the
until next-
comments.
Yeah, let us know what you want to
But be nice.
And don't touch the oven.
Yeah, no,
It's hot.
Yeah, good guys. Bye.
Bye.